Hello and welcome to Cornish Walking Trails. Today we're here at Durgan on the Helford River. So today we're filming a homemade walk. We do come to Durgan Beach, but we start in Mawnan Smith. Figure of 8 walk today. Mawnan Smith is on the Helford River, 6 miles from Falmouth. So for today's walk we've brought you to Mawnan Smith. We're going to do a 6-mile figure of 8 walk, taking in 4 gorgeous beaches, all of which are dog friendly. We'll talk about that a bit more in the video later on because it's getting quite confusing. But welcome to Mawnan Smith. This is one of our homemade walks and we would suggest you park here on the road. There's plenty of on-road parking by Carwinian playing field. And with it being on road, it's free, which is brilliant. Opposite the playing field is Carwinian House on the left. So you pass the driveway to Carwinian House and take a left, a footpath, down towards the beach. So initially the first mile's down to a beach through woodland, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And we'll take in 4 different beaches on the River Helford.
Yeah, homemade walk, no instructions. What could possibly go wrong?
So we've just met another chap walking his dogs. Second person that's told us there's a tree down in the woodland down here. So this could be fun, couldn't it?
Yeah, it's unusual it's come down because it's not as if we've had particularly strong winds over the last few days or anything, is it? It's,
Well, we have. You've been at work.
Okay.
I've been working from home. And yeah, the garden's been completely blown out. It's been quite a strong easterly. So perhaps in full leaf, it's just
I must have missed that then. Must
gone.
have been too busy working. So one thing that's been noticeable with the lockdown,
Yeah.
obviously less people out and about, is the bird song.
Yeah, there's a squirrel. Oh, I'm too slow to catch that on camera. It would have just been a blur.
Even the dog didn't see that.
No.
But with the bird song, obviously it's identifying which birds are making that noise.
Sorry, I can still see the squirrel.
This ain't working.
You've been video bombed by a squirrel that isn't even in shot.
Okay.
He's up there. Well, we haven't found a tree yet. We're kind of half expecting to do some agility work.
Well,
but
there's an upper path and a lower path, isn't there? We've
Yeah.
taken the lower path, so whether it's on the upper path.
must
I'm not
be.
going to go back and find out.
No, nor am I.
Sarah.
I know.
Sarah.
I've got to do it now because the couple's just got over it.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Somebody's laid a log. Well, some log it is.
Okay, so how's the dog getting over? No, don't go down the bank, boy.
Wait, come here.
Are you going to get him over first?
Yeah,
That's as tall as my waist.
the trouble with this, right, it's actually left me a bit stumped.
Don't wriggle. What's it like on the other side?
Is that? Good.
Oh, easy. Not too bad. Now it's my turn. Not too bad.
Very ladylike.
Oh dear. Well, hopefully, if you come and do this walk, they'll have cleared it by then. won't they?
Yeah, this walk, you could say it gives you tremendous experience and exercise.
After about a mile from your car, you come to the first beach, Porth Saxon. Really dark and dingy, isn't it?
see why they built this here, wouldn't it?
It's not for the view.
Oh, and this is where they come to have their sandwiches at lunchtime. I just think when you stumble across like a pillbox like this, actually you don't like associate Cornwall and like the Second World War really, do you? But obviously everywhere at that time was involved in the war effort, wasn't it? So they must have been worried about, what, invasions here?
On leaving Port Saxon Beach, we're rejoining the coastal path. Now we're heading towards Durgan village. Some beautiful views in this little copse of pine trees. I can see a beach through the pine trees. So ahead of us is Boslow Manor. I'm pretty sure that before we were married, we came out a big group of us. And I think we had cream teas on the terrace up there. Andrew doesn't seem to remember it, but I know it was with him.
I always remember a cream tea.
I don't think you do.
Jam first. I remember the cream tea, I just can't remember where we were. It was very nice.
I'm pretty sure that one of the guys we were with, he kind of phoned ahead, didn't he?
Yeah, I got a feeling it was more of like a private arrangement than like a sort of a regular event, you know?
By appointment.
Yeah.
Sounds really posh, doesn't it?
Well, if we did have a cream tea there, it's a beautiful spot for it.
Yeah, I distinctly remember sitting on that patio, I'm pretty sure, that terrace.
Oh, I'm on the wrong side again.
Yeah.
I'm doing that a lot today. Is it time for our second beach, Sarah?
Yeah.
What's our second beach, Sarah, called?
Second beach Sarah called.
Our second beach, Sarah, called.
You're in form today.
Sarah, what's the second beach called?
This is Grebe Beach. Beautiful little beach on the Helford, one of my favourites. We're going to just drop down the hill now into Durgan village, another beach, and this is a village at the bottom of Glen Durgan, the big house that the Fox family built. Absolutely beautiful down here, lots of traditional cottages.
Can you imagine what it would have been like going to school here? This is the old schoolhouse down at Durgan. It's right on the beach. There is a plaque at the top and it says 1876. I think I would have enjoyed going to school there. What do you think? Sarah, where are we?
This is Durgan village and here is Durgan beach, and in Cornish, Durgan means otter. No evidence of them here though.
Oh, there is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hot here today.
Oh.
If we stay here even longer at lunchtime, it'll be otter.
Oh.
No?
tiny little village, isn't it?
Very
Durgan?
tiny, isn't it? I've been doing some research, Sarah.
Have you?
Yeah, so according to the last census details that were completed, there were 17 properties here.
Right, yeah.
Do you know how many permanent residents lived here?
Not many.
10.
Yeah. National Trust owns most of them for holiday homes, doesn't it? It just feels a bit soulless at the moment with coronavirus and none of them let.
So that was our third beach.
Yes, this is the point where the figure of 8 meets in the middle.
Oh, okay. Come on,
so we're going to go up this, quite steep, and it's going to be shaded up here, thank goodness. This path is lovely, shaded, and it's kind of hewn out of the bedrock past the coastal path, and we're going to continue with this rather steep climb straight up the hill. The reason we've done it this way is because we'll then drop down into Helford Passage, which is steeper. If we did it the other way around, you'd be coming up out of Helford Passage. So we've been kind. So we would like to say a big thank you to everybody that supports us on Patreon.
Thank you.
Yeah, a big thank you. Patreon, just to explain, is a method that we can have people like yourselves that enjoy watching the videos that just help financially to support the channel, because it does cost us a bit to run it every year, and the money we get from YouTube, well, it's not much, is it?
Yeah, so
it is a contribution.
It just helps us to run the channel and be able to provide these videos, really.
So a big thank you to everyone that supports us on Patreon. If you're interested in helping us, I'll put the link in the description below. So our homemade walks, Andrew pores over maps for hours. Some of them we do regularly. They're like ones that we know through local knowledge. And we thought it would just be nice to put them together so that you had somewhere a bit different.
Yeah, they tend to be walks which you won't find in a walk book as well. So obviously the vlogs of our walks will be on YouTube, and that's free to watch. If you did want to do the walk yourself, if you fancied having a go and you wanted the instructions, you'll find them on Patreon under one of the Patreon
tiers.
Yeah.
As we're filming at the moment, the coronavirus guidelines are changing on a daily basis, and you need to just check what the government's current line is, what their current guidelines are.
The county is gradually, slowly reopening, isn't it? But there are still things that, at the moment, the pubs are still shut. Public
loos are shut, some car parks are shut. So it's a question of looking at the guidelines on the day you're going to do it, really, I'm afraid. We can't really cover that completely here, can we?
I'm sure if you're watching this in 5 years' time, you can tell us how it all worked out, and hopefully everything was fine. Leave a comment.
So at the end of the lane of Tree Bar, you join the Falmouth Portsmouth Road, and we're going to take a left-hand turn down to Helford Passage. So we were musing, weren't we, about these pine trees?
Oh yeah.
Quite a lot of them on this side of the Helford.
They're quite distinctive as well, aren't they?
They're not native.
Tall. No, they're not native, are they?
How did they get here?
Plane?
Well, didn't you have a theory that they planted them as a windbreak?
Well, yeah, all of this land was sort of privately owned by big landowners, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And they very much into their gardens. You've got Durgan and Tree Bar here, haven't you? So they were obviously introduced. So, yeah, they're
conspicuous.
That's a good word. Beach number 4.
Indeed. So after we explore the beach, we're going to pick up the coastal path and follow it back to Durgan. When we drop down into Helford Passage, you'll see a dog ban sign, but the county council here has started to relax some of the dog bans. They're experimenting this year. So if you see dogs on the beach, it's because they're allowed this year, so the signs are still up in case dog owners are irresponsible and they have to go back, but it's very confusing. So there's some signs that people could be opening up down here. The little booth has got people in.
Yeah,
Notice says they're opening tomorrow.
I just saw that. But this is quite important because if you're walking the southwest coast path, you get as far as River Helford after you've finished walking on the Lizard, and then you've got to get across here, and there is a foot ferry, isn't there?
Yes.
Tiny little boat. And you've actually got to wave it down. There's usually a flag at the other side, isn't there? And you wave it.
Is that how you do it? We've never done it.
We've never had to do it, have we? 'Cause
No.
We've never sort of walked the entirety of the southwest coast path. So
Never
we've never
thought
had to
about
do
it.
I'm pretty sure that's what you have to do. Yeah, I don't know how they're coping at the moment with everything sort of shut down. It's obviously not running.
No, the pontoon's out there, look.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure which one the ferry is. You notice when they parked up all the boats, they've actually parked them all facing in the same direction.
Oh, yeah, Wally.
What?
It's because the tide's coming in. It pushes them all around on their anchorage.
Ah.
Seriously? Did everybody think that they just swing around according to the ebb and flow, don't they? Once you emerge after a little woodland area, you join a concrete road. It's got quite an interesting history, this one, hasn't it, Andrew?
It was built very quickly, I think, at the end of the Second World War.
Yeah, and it was a secret operation, wasn't it? Hence all the pillboxes in this area, which kind of now makes sense. They were guarding the secret, weren't they?
Yeah, so they were definitely American troops going over. Omaha beaches, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that. We have
tell you what
seen
these are as well,
Ooh.
because the actual surface was laid on this right at the last minute, and it hadn't dried properly. And these, I think, are actual tracks for the tanks and stuff.
The caterpillar tracks.
Yeah, the caterpillar tracks.
Oh yeah, you can see them going across the road.
Now that might just be complete bump.
I thought that the concrete road, I read somewhere that the concrete road was covered up quickly with tarmac so that moonlight wouldn't give it away.
You're right. Yes.
So it was a quick coating of tarmac to make it blend in.
Still here.
Yeah. Whole Gwydden Beach is privately owned by Tree Bar. Tree Bar is a privately owned landscape gardens that you can wander through at an entrance fee. And it's right next to Durgan. It's just the valley over. The houses were originally built by two brothers in the Fox family, so they were neighbours. We can't go on this beach, it's all roped off. There's a funny little kind of walkway behind the beach. You can't even get a view. I'll pop the camera up above so you can see it. But yeah. So this is where the American troops boarded a big vessel to take them over to the D-Day landing. So that's still part of the concrete landing strip. And the quay over there, that must have been something to do with it.
Bottom of Tree Bar Gardens, it says to the officers and men of the 29th Infantry Division who embarked from Tree Bar in June 1944 for the D-Day assault on Omaha Beach, Normandy, we will remember them.
Seems quite incredible that they had such a big vessel draw up to this beach. Rather some like YouTube videos or copyright material, so we can't put any in this video. But if you were interested, you could look them up.
Right, so that's my first practice run. I need to gradually go on to smaller things until I end up on a tightrope. Manage this one though. Am I clever?
It's a bit bigger than a tightrope.
Yeah.
Have you noticed there's more pine trees behind you? What is it with pine trees peppering the Helford?
Yeah, since you've mentioned it, I've noticed more.
So we always think a lot about whether or not we should bring the dog with us, especially in the summer when it's warm. But we knew today he'd have 5 opportunities to go swimming and cool down. And there's also some water sources that he can drink from. I don't know if I would ordinarily have brought him out in a day like this. It is really warm. But he's okay today. There's also quite a lot of shade. So at this point we're going to join up with the path we were on earlier, retrace our steps back down into Durgan village. So at this junction we're going right, back down the hill, lovely and shaded, very welcome on a day like today. So back at Durgan Beach again.
You get that feeling you've been here before?
Deja vu. Durgan view. No, that doesn't work, does it? Where's our dog? There's a handrail with some steps. It goes up through the woodland. I think we'll choose that option today. Quite a long footpath from Durgan Beach up to the National Trust car park here at Bosfield. We're going to go out the vehicular access, join the road for a short while and then take a right hand footpath. Our path now follows a country lane. We've got allotments here on the left. And then we'll go along the boundary hedges of gardens, glimpses of the Helford down to the right. So we're going to head down into Mawnan Smith now. It's an opportunity to find a public toilet. We're taking a left up here, go through a housing development and join the main road again down into Mawnan Smith. Look out for these 4 interesting buildings in Mawnan Smith. The Red Lion Pub, a traditional thatched cobbled public house that was already a well-established hostelry in 1717. When landlord Walter Lorry died that year, he left a large number of goods and chattels. Mawnan Methodist Chapel was granted a licence for public worship in 1815. The schoolroom was added in 1901. The village smithy is the last of the 4 blacksmith shops in the village, hence the name Mawnan Smith.
Back on the side of this building, it's called Wesley Cottage. Part of this building is Mawnan's old meeting house where John Wesley is said to have stayed. It's 1750.
A homemade walk from Cornish walking trails, a 6-mile figure-of-8 walk starting in Mawnan Smith and taking in 4 beaches.
Yeah, we worked our way all the way over to Helford Passage. Visited Durgan as well, one of my favourite places, not once but twice.
Really pretty. So if you do get an opportunity to do this walk, you want to check out Patreon, feel free, I'll put the link in the description below.